Hey guys, so I want to give you some insight on sort of some changes to programming that me and my coach have made. So just a little background. Recently I have felt pretty detrained on my top end on squat. Basically, once I get to like above 452-ish, which is like around, let me see here, if I put like my max like 534 times 0.85, I think it's like 85%ish of my max. Yeah, so around like 85%ish of my max is like an RP6 single around. That's when I start to feel pretty detrained. And so basically, what I have decided to do is do more so biasing intensity on my top sets going forward, and then putting my down sets a little bit lighter. So basically, and then also switching to safety bar squats on my secondary squat day for just for some variation because I've been pumping comp squats pretty aggressively for the past about like I think about 6 months in all honesty, like twice a week, and that has been like good in general. But the main thing that has sort of come from that is that I get pretty bored. And then also because I do high bar squat, it's not like I could do like low bar squat and then high bar squat. I kind of need a little bit more variation, and I've had a lot of really good success in the past with safety bar squats. So I'm just going to be running these a little bit more. I forgot how much these kind of fold you forward. Um, it was kind of weird, especially because like I have lost weight a little bit just due to some changes with my thyroid medication since I am thyroid. I'm hypothyroid, so like I'm thyroid medication dependent. I had a little bit of a change in my dosing, so had some change in my metabolism. Anyways, figuring that out, but definitely feels different. But it's really good to have that variation, just so you can have some different movement strategies, and take a little stress off my shoulders. And I just like how safety bar squats like feel a little bit more. They feel pretty strange the first time that you do them because there's a lot more forward camber tilt on them. You get a little more bent over, and it has a little more thoracic extensor requirements because my back is so strong. It actually kind of benefits my muscular strength a little bit more, especially after I get the technique down. So basically, worked up to I had two ascending sets of three with 425 and 435 up to RPE6. Then I basically took really light down sets with like just three plates for sevens because I'm getting used to this movement again. This is about like a perfect intensity. We're going to also see how this affects how my primary squat day feels. So overall, that's really sort of the changes to squat programming. A little bit more bias was that top end intensity. I'm doing a couple heavier top sets, ascending style up to my top set, and then putting my down sets a little bit lighter. That also lets me push my accessories like belt squat, leg extensions a lot harder, and those are just a lot more beneficial for my body in terms of muscle and like fitness to fatigue, stimulus to fatigue rate ratio. Then I had some sevens on deadlift, ascending sets of seven. Started off with 463, then I did 485, and then did 507. And I switched back to doing conventional on my higher rep day because I was doing sumo last block, and it was just causing me some pretty gnarly hip pain. And then like conventional just feels better. It just feels just more of a natural movement and just better. And I seem to do well with higher reps. Unfortunately, that's my training response. I respond a little bit better to higher reps on average. But I'm noticing that my bench press I do like lower reps like twice a week. Then I have two higher rep days, and then my bench press just feels a lot stronger with those two heavier exposures. So I'm hoping that squat gets to be that way. But again, I know I'm kind of harping on this again. The main thing that's been so frustrating with this whole move up to 90 kilos has just been I've had health issue after health issue pop up with being sick over and over again in the winter. And then getting close to meat. I just kind of just let up on my eating a little bit because I was a little more focused on my business, and then I've had a lot of things come up and reasons why I haven't really filled out this weight class, and I still have made progress, but my last meet was really just a culmination of like actually being able to express my true strength at this weight class. And because I am tall, I'm 5'11", I'm 190 to 194, depending on the day. That's where I fluctuate. I just need to be 220 pounds. People who are 190 are like freaking like 5'6". And they're in the 82.5 kilo class, and I'm not that way. And so I really think that, while I'm really proud of my strength levels, with the 534 competition squat, 358 bench press, and a 711 deadlift, which is, pretty good. Basically having a 489 dots was like, basically like chronically under eating. Like in order for me to maintain this weight, I'm always kind of a little bit underfed. I'm kind of used to that. But right now I am getting a little more on top of that, being a little more aggressive with my surplus. And, really, I'm not allowing myself to step on the platform again until I'm like 198 again, or at least 5 pounds heavier, because like in order for me to just get stronger, like muscle is that engine, and it has more of that base of strength. It's fairly easy to get strong once you are bigger. That's why like a lot of times I think there's not much of a difference between bodybuilding and powerlifting training, except one of them you have, the specificity of the sport of you have to train like the squat, bench, and deadlift heavy, and one of them like you don't. I think most modern powerlifting programs have a very heavy emphasis on hypertrophy and accessory work as a part of the stimulus. There's very few programs right nowadays that are sort of more of that block periodized model where it's like, you go from doing like lots of non-specific work, high volume, to like, mostly just like specific work, more volume on competition bench, like deadlift, squat, and then peaking, just competition bench, deadlift, and squat. And like, it's a little more nuanced than that, right now with the modern block periodization style and DUP structure that they use in powerlifting. So those are mainly the changes I'm making right now to programming. I'm hoping that they do well. The main thing though is that, again, I have to eat and get up to, really just fill out 198 and really just gain that 2 pounds a month. So going to be doing my absolute best with that, making it happen, because I am not allowing myself to step on the platform until I do that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this voiceover part of the video.